Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Chrissy. I help online small content creators get better at content, get more subscribers, and make more money. Today, we're doing a sit down chat with me type of video, and today I wanted to talk about the struggles of being an online content creator. And for the most part, I am a small creator. I'm just shy of 7,000 subscribers, and I still struggle with a lot of content. I don't know. I struggle with a lot of stuff here that I want to share and I want to be fully transparent with. And this is going to be as unfiltered as possible. And so I'm just kind of like speaking from the heart. I do have an outline of like a few things I want to mention. So if you see me looking down, I'm just looking at my iPad, making sure I hit all the points that I want to share. But as an online content creator, especially a small creator, I mean, honestly, I feel like there's always going to be challenges that you face as a creator, whether if you're small or a large creator. But as a small creator, me personally, I'm trying to find balance. I'm trying to find a system that works for me, that incorporates not just the content creation aspect of my life, but also I have a 9 to 5. I'm also a freelancer and I have to balance my personal life as well. So spending time with my husband, spending time with my dogs, taking trips to see my family from out of town, um, all the personal stuff. So health, wellness, my fitness, and just incorporating everything. And at this time, I'm still trying to figure out what is the best way for me to go about doing everything. How can I fit everything into a 24-hour schedule while making sure I get enough sleep? And for me, if I do not get enough sleep, your girl cannot work. If I am less than 6 hours of sleep in, I cannot do a thing. My energy is so low, my mind is so foggy. And so if I get more than like 8 hours of sleep, and if I get less than 6 hours of sleep, 6 hours is usually like the perfect amount. I cannot work. So I always make sure I prioritize my rest and then I have to fit everything else around that. So that's just one of the struggles that I have. But I think one really major part about being a creator, and this could be for big creators as well, is the fact that you feel lonely. This journey is so lonely, and I realized that very early on. I knew that in order for me to accomplish my goals, I'm going to have to hyper focus on it. And not only that, not a lot of people can relate to what you do as a creator. They see it more as a hobby. They don't really see it as a business opportunity. And I see everything as a business opportunity. I'm not going to lie. And with me taking on YouTube, it is my career. It is something that I want to focus on the most because I want it to replace my income. I want it to replace my freelance income and I want to go all in on it. So I treat my content creation as a business and I want to be sure that I am taking time for myself at the same time. But just knowing that, or just going through the experience of this being such a lonely ride, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs in general can relate, but this is very lonely. And even though I have like my family and my friends and I can talk about this stuff with them, they're still not going to fully understand unless they are entrepreneurs or creators themselves, which for the most part, a lot of them are not. A few creator friends that I do have, or the creative friends that I do have, they do understand. So we kind of like bond in that way. But no one in your life is going to understand unless they are those professions. And so it gets even more lonely because you face these challenges by yourself and you're trying to overcome them by yourself. And people will give you service level advice. And so that's why I don't go seeking advice. And this is why I don't express my struggles with people because they're going to give me service level advice. And I don't want advice because I know that they haven't been through this. And I only want advice from people who have been through this. And so to help with like kind of combating the loneliness, I've created a Facebook group where I started building a community, a hub for content creators, specifically small content creators, because we are all trying to do the same thing. Our goal is to make it, our goal is to grow, to make sales from our own, to essentially build a business out of YouTube or content creation in general. And so I did create a Facebook group and it's growing slowly, but it's growing. And I have bonded with many people in this group. And if you would like to join, it is completely free. It is a Facebook group, so you have to have a Facebook page, but I'll link it down below. And it's called the Content Creators Hub. But being lonely is just or feeling lonely at least is a huge part of being a creator, especially a small creator. And that's one of the struggles that I face. Another struggle that I face is high expectations of what I bring to the table or high expectations of the result products that I have. Essentially, perfectionism. I struggled with perfectionism my whole entire life. I am the eldest child, and maybe it's just a me thing, like me growing up being the eldest, I was just so controlling. And to me, that is pretty parallel to perfectionism because it's just like I have a hard time letting go. And with being a small creator, I've had to learn very quickly that I have to let things go. I can't hang on to a project for so long. Otherwise, one, I'm going to lose ambition for that project, and that project is just going to go out the door. And two, if I hang on to the project for too long, I'm not going to consistently push out content. And so for me, I had to learn very early on that, perfectionism does not exist. Progression is what I want to aim for. And so I keep it in my head that I want to get just a little bit better with every single project that I complete. And so when I upload, sometimes I cringe because I'm just like, it's not perfect. It's not where I want it to be. But at the end of the day, I've already delivered the value in that video and I just need to post it anyways. And so I feel like even a lot of like in the the content creator hub on Facebook that I created, a lot of creators struggle with that. They struggle with trying to make sure that their edits are perfect, trying to make sure that their audios are perfect, and trying to make sure that their video just, they just want to make sure every single second of their video is perfect. And that is delaying their progression. I have had someone I worked with who waited 4 months. 4 months to post something because she wanted her video to be perfect. And I'm like, girl, like, no, you got to keep going. You have to publish it because if you spend 4 months on this, the next project, you're going to spend another 4 months in it. That's like, and then you do another project, that's a whole year with only 3 videos. And that is not good if you're trying to grow your channel or your platform. So you have to take things kind of like, I don't want to say a grain of salt, but do what you can with what you have and with the time, what time allows you to do, and then move forward with it. Don't sit around on it for too long because then you're not going to publish and you're not going to be consistent, and then you're going to beat yourself up because you're not moving fast enough and you're not getting enough feedback from your own analytics because you're not posting enough. And so it's this whole cycle. So perfectionism, having high expectations of myself has really been one of those struggles. And I encourage you to just let it go. Do with what you can, with what you have, with what time you have, and just let it go. Just post it, post the dang thing. Another struggle that I always face is that my mind is racing 24/7. 24/7. And I struggle with this because I want to shut my mind off. Like I really do. And it's one of those things that I kind of feel emotional about it right now because I ever since so kind of like backstory content or backstory context. I moved away from my family and friends like almost a year ago. So I'm about 10 months into a new state that I've never been before, or actually I've never lived before. I've never lived outside of like my hometown. And so me and my husband, we decided to move and we bought a house, and we're out here by ourselves, and he works outside of the house and I work at home. And so being a content creator, my mind is always racing. And I struggled with it for so long because like I'm thinking of all these things, like not just like content ideas, but I'm thinking of, is this good enough? Am I good enough? Am I doing what's right? Blah, blah, blah. And because like since I work from home and I have the opportunity to think a lot, those self-doubt thoughts, those self-doubt voices come in and they mess with me sometimes. And in fact, in the first like 6 months of me living here, it messed with me a lot. And I felt like I was going into this depression. And I don't want to call it depression, but I felt like I was just in this hole of like sadness. And I just realized I was kind of like doing nothing. I was doing stuff, like I was doing a lot of like creating and working, blah, 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 but I needed to explore outside of that. And so being a content creator, it really messed with my head because I was always thinking 24/7. And I know people naturally just think, but I just felt like because I was working all the time and my mind wasn't shutting off, I was just thinking of like not even feedback. I was being so self-critical. I was thinking, I need to do better. I need to do this better. I need my system to be better. I need to better my process. Like, how can I do this better? How can I do that video better? I'm not as good as this creator. And so I just like go in this spiral, and it was a spiral like daily. It was really bad. And I gotten way better with it, like so much better, but I still think a lot, like 24/7. I even had to get those vitamins to focus, to help me focus. I was never diagnosed with ADD or ADHD or anything, but I did have a therapist tell me I had strong ADHD symptoms. And so that just made me a little bit more aware of like how my attention goes. And so I try my hardest to focus on one thing until it's complete and then move on to the next thing without intercepting my own thoughts with other thoughts that don't matter in the moment. So, yeah, those are one of those struggles that I really make me emotional, because it's just like it can be hard. It can be hard when you're by yourself in a new state and you're doing your best, but you still have those self-doubt voices kind of messing with you on your shoulder. Another struggle that I face as a small creator, or just being a creator in general, is the fact that I have to hold myself accountable. I don't have anybody holding me accountable. I came to a conclusion like last year that I am an amazing worker. You tell me what to do, I do it. You have a script or like a system or SOP, I follow it. My last job, so the job I have now is cool, but the job I had before, I loved that job because they recognized me for my development and like my hard work and my work ethic. And the only reason why I left was because the job I have now paid me like double. And so that last job, I loved it. And I, as like going into entrepreneurship or being a content creator, the only thing that kind of like sucks is that there's no formal structure. I love structure. I love systems. And this is why I'm always harping on like finding your own system and, have your own set days of filming, scripting, yada, yada, yada. And even when you're editing, have your own system of editing. So for me, I have to have a system with like everything, even in my personal life. Like I have set days for laundry. I have set day or set times to like do, like the dishes and stuff like that. And maybe it's an OCD thing. I don't even know. But for me, I need a system. And being a content creator on my own, there is no system to follow. I kind of have to just create it as I go, find what works best for me, and then kind of follow it religiously on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. And so holding myself accountable is one of those big things. And especially in the Content Creators Hub, that's what I see a lot, is that a lot of people lack consistency because they want accountability. And so that kind of indicates to me maybe they are, or like either they're really good workers, or like they're really good at structure or like following systems, or they are systemized that way. Like they have been always been taught to, follow XYZ and 1, 2, 3 in their jobs, in their school and stuff like that. So they're used to that. And so that's what they want. They want accountability. They want someone to hold their hand, or not really hold their hand, but like hold them accountable and make sure they're consistent with their work. And so that's something that you struggle with as a small creator, is being consistent and holding yourself accountable. Another struggle is creativity. Man, there's so many times where I have hit a wall of creativity. I'm like, there's some days where I'm just like on cloud nine and I'm like writing all these ideas down and I'm scripting. And then there's days where I'm just like, I don't want to do anything. Like I can't think of anything. And I feel like a failure. And it's just, here goes the spiral of me feeling like I'm not good enough just because I can't produce my own ideas or like my own scripts with my brain. And creativity is one of those things where it can be fun, but it can also be daunting, because as a creator, you have to create things and you have to be creative. So if you don't have that creative muscle, then it can be a little bit harder to pursue content creation or anything creative in that sense. But for me, that's one of those struggles, is just like hitting that creativity wall. And I've done better over time. Especially as you grow your audience, you will see what they want to see, or you will read what they want to see. You will read and discover what your viewers want you to create. And so it's so helpful, because sometimes you could just turn off your brain, and you can pick up those ideas that your subscribers and viewers want and create videos and content around it. So as you grow, at least so far in my journey, as I've grown little by little, it got a little bit easier. Time and like week by week, it gets easier and easier, because people are basically telling you like, hey, can you please create a video on this? I'm like, Sure, like easy. And then if you're someone who only posts once a week, perfect. If somebody tells you, if there are four different people who recommended an idea each, those are ideas for your idea bank. And then you can create videos and you're good for a month. Then you can take a break. But yeah, those are one of those things that I kind of struggle with, is like those mental blocks, those creativity blocks. And sometimes you just have to step outside and, enjoy in the moment, be in the moment, be grounded, do something else that's away from your profession to get that creativity muscle going again. Another thing that I struggle with is the battle between wanting to please my viewers versus wanting to please myself. There are times where I'm just like, you know, my viewers want to see something, but I don't want to make it. And I want to make this instead. And, honestly, that's okay. I think that is completely okay because you don't want to resent your business. You don't want to resent being on social media. So I feel like you have to find that balance of, okay, I'll create this week because my audience wants to see it. Even if you don't really want to create it, it'll be good because you're being receptive to your audience. You're giving them what they want. And then maybe the week after, you create something that you want to create. And maybe you won't get the most views. Maybe your first video will get a lot more views because people want that. But the second video, it can be used for like gaining more trust, like this right here. Like this is not even something that I searched up and people want to see or people are asking for. This is something that I want to create because I want to be true to myself. I want to be true to you. And I want you to just see what the struggles are of being a content creator, especially if you're thinking about it and you're not convinced yet. Maybe this will help. But this is something that I wanted to do on my own. And so find that balance. Find what do people want to see versus what you want to create. And then as long as it relates to your content pillars or your niche or your audience and what they want to see, essentially like what they watch, then create it and add it to your channel. Add it on one channel. I just say find a good balance so that you can stay happy and your business can thrive and there's stability in the long run. And also you're gaining trust in your audience, you're gaining trust in the content you create, or like you're gaining credibility as well. Another thing that a lot of creators struggle with, that I struggle with, and that the creators and the content creators help struggle with, is pressure. Oh my goodness. I cannot tell you. Like, I've had so many conversations where new creators or people who want to be creators just felt burnt out like the first few 6 months, like the first 6 months of them being content creators, because they felt so much pressure. They felt like they had to live up to already established creators. They feel like their niche is too saturated or the content creator industry is already too saturated. They feel, and I feel, let me speak from my experience, and I feel like there's so much pressure to continuously put out a lot of content and be perfect, and this pressure to continuously post shorts and long form video. I did not want to do shorts. I just wanted to do long form, but everyone was saying do shorts, do shorts, do shorts. Now I do shorts, but that's because I'm doing it because it feels good now. And so the pressure of being a content creator is so real because not only do you have people like judging you and stuff like that, and then you have your loyal subscribers who are recommending videos to you. You also have this advice from a whole bunch of people in the industry who are telling you need to do this, you need to do that. And then just like the pressure of needing to show up can be very bearing. So for me, this is I talk about systems all the time. If you watch any of my previous videos, you know I talk about systems. But with systems, like creating a system that works for me has been a game changer in my business, because if I didn't have a system that I liked, then I would have already been burnt out. I was burnt out maybe like the first many times that I created or that I pursued YouTube. But when I re-pursued my channel and relaunched my channel December of 2023, the, ever since then, everything has felt really good because I followed what I wanted to do. But I also followed kind of like balanced tips with my system. So people are saying, gurus are saying you need to post every week. Okay, I'll post every week, but let me find a system that works best for me. Is that batching 4 videos in one day, once a month? Maybe. Is that recording one video a week and editing it throughout the week and posting it the end of the week? Is that for me? Maybe. Or maybe recording 2 videos every 2 weeks and editing it throughout each week. Maybe that works. So You just have to find what works best for you. You want to be consistent, but figure out how much energy do you need, or how much energy can you put into filming? For me, sometimes filming can be a chore. So I try to bulk film. So like right now in this video, like while I'm recording this video, this day, I am filming 4 videos, and that is going to be good for 2 weeks because now I'm starting to publish 2 videos a week. And so you want to find a system that works for you, whether if you're a batch creator or if you're a weekly creator or if you're a bi-weekly creator or semi-monthly, whatever that looks like for you. You have to kind of test different things. If you're burnt out, bulk filming, bulk editing, and scheduling out your videos once a week, then maybe bulk creating is not your thing. So maybe try semi-monthly. So record 2 videos every 2 weeks, and then you can skip a week so you can get a break, and then maybe that second week you're editing. So the first week, so week number 1 you record 2 videos, week number 2 you edit those videos, week number 3 you record 2 videos, week number 4 you edit those 2 videos. So maybe that'll work for you, or you can do it week by week. So you record, edit, post, record, edit, post, record, edit, post. So maybe that'll be better for you. So just figure out a system that works for you. Make sure it feels good to you. The pressure is always going to be there. It's just the intention to ease that pressure off of yourself. And the only person who can ease that pressure off of yourself is you. So you want to figure out what's good for you, what feels good to you, and make sure you enjoy it, because if you enjoy it, then your business is going to last a lot longer. So those are the challenges that I'm facing right now as a content creator. And if you can relate, definitely do me a huge favor, like this video, subscribe to my channel, turn on the bell notifications so you're notified every time I post content creation tips. And I also have more videos on content creation, YouTube, all that good stuff. You can check it out on the video on the screen, and I'll be happy to see you there. Bye.